thanks to the so-called railway workers neglecting to call a strike today. We're on board the 11:11 service from Finsbury Park, heading north. A spirit of adventure in our hearts, and 3 forgotten North Hertfordshire towns in our sights. But where shall we go first?
Shortly arriving at Royston.
Does it actually come out?
Royston, Hertfordshire. Population 16,911. Rank number 610.
We've arrived at the King James Public House. The music may be bland, even if the beer isn't, but we are not going to allow ourselves to be preoccupied by calculating which dismal millennial pop hit has been reorchestrated for acoustic guitar or string quartet. Today, we're far more interested in Royston's backstory and why this preoccupation with King James, the 1st or 7th, depending on your nationality, persists today. Brief consultation with the internet reveals that James stayed here overnight on his way from Edinburgh to be crowned King of England in 1603, and he rather liked the place. Whether this was down to the decent pub provision, adequate road links, or high-speed rail connections with both London and Cambridge is not recorded. However, after renting an Airbnb for the whole of 1604, he commissioned local builders to rustle up his own hunting lodge, which you may remember as a high point of Escape to the Country Series 3 back in 1607. Ensuing construction required the demolition of 2 of the town's pubs. Locals' reaction is not recorded for posterity, but it did cement a royal connection that kept Royston bustling with tourists and tat merchants for at least the next 200 years. I am standing outside the entrance to Royston Cave, top of the hit parade of Royston's tourist attractions. It has been a focus for ill-informed conjecture over its origins for nearly 300 years, although a lot of the content clearly dates from much earlier times. However, I am not here to fan the flames of ill-informed hypothesis, so merely suggest that if you are particularly interested in Royston Cave, or where on earth it came from, Google Royston Cave. For the literally divisive boundary changes of the 1890s, the border between Hertfordshire and Cambridgeshire ran east-west through the centre of this town, along the middle of Ermine Street, which must have been tough for the youth of the area when deciding whether to align with Hertfordshire or the very different identity of Cambridgeshire. Meanwhile, in terms of arbitrary geographical delineation, Royston is situated on the Greenwich Meridian, which aligns it with such settlements as London, Bordeaux, Valencia, and Brighton. More importantly, however, it lies 52 degrees north of the equator, which puts it level with Milton Keynes and Ipswich. We have just received a complaint from regular listener Steve from the pub, who initially complains that whilst Royston is 52 degrees north of the equator, Ipswich is a full 52 degrees 3 minutes north, a grave error on which we stand corrected, but then goes on to highlight an earlier error in that King James I of England was also King James VI of Scotland, not the 7th, as stated earlier in this episode. We can only say that we really are so very truly sorry. Anyway, moving on, join us in a few hours once we've walked over there to Baldock.
I'm a killer, I've been everywhere, man.